Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Preseason. This one, the Chiefs versus the Hurricanes. Now, an interesting stat is the fact that from the preseason games that we have seen, no side has actually been undefeated. We saw the Highlanders go 1-1, the Crusaders have gone 1-1, the Blues 1-1, but these two sides, Canes beating the Blues last week, the Chiefs beating the Fiji and Roar. So someone's undefeated preseason will continue after this matchup. It is being played in Porirua. It looks like a decent crowd for this contest as well, but two sides full of talent, a few more returns compared to what we saw in the last round. But yeah, thoroughly looking forward to seeing how this game goes. We have got the hello from John. We have got Where's This Being Stream. So I did find that it is on YouTube on a channel called Huddy Sports. That's HUDDYSPORTS. You guys know how to spell sports, of course. But yeah, apparently that is the only broadcasting option for this game by the looks of it. Hey says, what's up, guys? Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well and hope you are excited for this contest just about to take place between these two sides. Now, looking through at the starting lineups just before we get into the action for the Hurricanes, they've got Xavier Numia as the number one, Asafua Moore, the big man, at 2, and Lauakai starting in at number 3 is Iwaka Leawiri alongside the Japanese international Warner Durns as the number 5. Very intriguing to see how he goes with the Canes this season. Devon Flanders, Polico, and Braden Yose will make up the loose ball trio. Iritare Ineri and Ruben Love as that 9 and 10 combo. Now, what I've learned throughout the week is Ruben Love has decided to dye his hair. I also learned that the first 50 people going to this game with dyed hair were going to get in for free. So you'd hate to be the 51st who decided to go bleach blonde just to find out you don't actually get a free ticket for it. Geordie Barrett, he is back in the Hurricanes. He was playing for Leinster on that sabbatical, but now returns to that 12 jersey for this Canes side. Balin Sullivan on his outside. Fihi Finianofo, he is heading overseas by the sounds of it. And then Josh Morby and Callum Harkin close out the rest of the starting side. Looking through at this Chiefs starting lineup, it is Brett Kumiroa, Simasori Tokiaho, and George Dyer as the number 3. Josh Lord and Tupavai in the lock-in duo with Kalen Boshier, Jerome Brown, and Wallace Satiti. Could be a real impact player throughout this season for the Chiefs. He slots in as right in the back line, Xavier Rowe alongside Josh Jacob in that 9 and 10 combination. Lolokai Faketi alongside Daniel Rona in the midfield with Kieran Timafalau, who did make his Chiefs unofficial debut last week. Moni Narawa back on the right, and Atenai Nana Saturo as the number 15. But those are the starting lineups. These two sides are just now making their way out onto the field. 2 a.m. here. Now I know how you feel, Hamish and Xander. Yeah, the late night games are always pretty brutal, and we've got plenty of them throughout today. We're going to be doing the Six Nations contest throughout the night as well as the Sevens. I've worked out I've got approximately 12 hours of streaming throughout the next about maybe 17, 18, 19 hours. So it's going to be a bit of a hectic time. Sucks there is no D-Mac. I'd rather he, the dirty Hurricanes, injure him, says John. Yeah, I think that it's just strategic as well. Like, we are seeing certain players not playing in this contest. For instance, no Cam Roygaard, no Duplessis Karefi. I think it's all about just giving those younger guys the opportunity as well as just finding a little bit of minutes for these guys before heading into their regular season. Now, for the Hurricanes, they've got the benefit of having a bye next week, so it doesn't actually impact them that much. So much Sevens this weekend, and then the Sevens, yeah. It's going to be hectic, that is for sure. Did you see Ireland 15 play England A about 4 hours ago? I did. It wasn't being shown here in New Zealand, which was a bit of a shame, unless it was on YouTube somewhere, but did see that it was a pretty one-sided game, so probably not the best one to cover, to be fair, if we had. But yeah, big win for the England A side. And I like the fact that they are having so many matches taking place for the A and XVs of these teams too. I see that Scotland and Italy also have their A sides playing, but this game kicking off now. Josh Jacob going from left to right, get us underway. And this contest, and the first carry of the match comes the way of Geordie Barrett. And Kumiroa is going to do some work over Lauakai. Says Jordan there. And we have got there so much rugby this weekend, and I hope the Hurricanes do better this year. Says, what's up, guys? Yes, yeah, it's going to be a bit interesting because everyone starts their Super Rugby Pacific next week, except for the Hurricanes. They have to wait that little bit longer. They have that extra week of watching everyone, seeing what they do before getting that big chance. But we are going to be on the manual scoreboard as well, I will mention, so bear with me if it is slightly wrong. Also, the fact that the Chiefs are the home side, that is just because it is the one from later on in the season. Now, Simasoni Tokiaho sitting there 40 metres out from the line. Xavier Rowe with a nice short pop pass. This is going to be where we see the Chiefs really start to get that momentum going, like we saw last week up against the Fijian Roa. Now we do see Imoni Narawa getting his carry. He was number 27, I believe, on his back there. And we have got their replay on YouTube channel, NZ Rugby Vits. Says I am nutty. So did they do it live as well, I am nutty, or was it just the replay that they covered? Because I did see a comment from you saying, why didn't I cover it? But, it wasn't being shown here for us, unfortunately. Xavier Rowe. Now going back across to the right-hand side, Simasoni Taukiaho, big collision with Devon Flanders and Lawakai. Now Rowe back again, Josh Jacobs. This is good face play at the moment from the Chiefs. Now Kieran Tumafalau trying to cut through the defensive line, but Isaiah Wakaleo-Wiri does get rid of him. Now Xavier Rowe back across to Brett Kumiroa. Or Bennett, I should say, rather than Brett. But it's live. It was live, apparently, on their YouTube channel. Or just somewhere else. Now Xavier Rowe kicking in behind, looking for a bit of a territory gain, and does get the ball into touch about 10 metres out from the Hurricanes line. A decent kick in behind there. Xavier Rowe, one of the keys for this Chiefs side. I believe Cortez Ratama is still in the mix, but he is not playing in these preseason contests. He will be available later on from what I've seen. Huddy Sports on YouTube. Yeah, this game is on Huddy Sports. I think it was the Ireland versus England one. As you can see, hay fever's still kicking in. Why they not showing it, says Misfit. I assume by they you mean me. And it is on Huddy Sports YouTube channel, so you can actually watch this live without having to pay for anything. But now that kick into touch by the Canes. Gonna make it the line out. I got 3 different tabs right now, on with your face talking with the live stream, and then another tab to type on. So I got 2 tabs of your live, Hamish. Says, John, it sounds like you're doing multitasking big time. How? Through YouTube. If you type in Huddy Sports, it will have it will be the first one that's live, as there aren't many channels called Huddy Sports around the place. And now it's in the hands of Xavier Rowe. Back across to the left-hand side here. The Canes still defending. Well, that's a big judo throw there from a Safwa Moore. Now back across Rowe. Goes to Jerome Brown. Tackled by Balin Sullivan and Geordie Barrett. Now Rowe on short side to Tupou Vai. Did get a slight mention or a slight feature in that last preseason matchup against the Fijian Roar near the end of the contest. Jerome Brown moves it up to 22 metres out from line. Wasn't out, so gets back up and has another crack. Ball stripped from him. And now, going back for a penalty in favour of the Chiefs. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. There we go. Holland might be out for the season. Yeah, it doesn't look good for Fabian Holland. Unfortunately, suffered shoulder injury, wasn't it? England slaughtered Ireland by the way, 50 points to 14. Yeah, I did see the scoreline of that contest. Not exactly what they would have liked for the Irish side. Definitely because of what has been happening in terms of that main game that they had. Oh, wait, we're underway. We certainly are currently 4 minutes into this contest. The Chiefs, they've got their best attacking chance of the game so far. They sit only a few metres out from the try line. First Dylan, then Holland. Yeah, it's the regular Highlanders curse that they have. They don't go through a season without losing 15 players to injury, and sadly they're losing their big players right from the get-go. It's like last year, they lost Jonah Nariki right from the start. They had... Who else went down real early in that season? I know that the youngster Finn Hurley, didn't he get injured right at the start of last year? Later on in the season, losing Caleb Tangitau. So, it just doesn't get any easier for the Highlanders when it comes to that injury list. Farrell looked less than happy, says I'm nutty. I imagine that you would look less than happy if you did get beaten by a large margin in your opening game of a Six Nations competition. It's better than him looking happy at the loss. And g'day, good sir, says there, welcome in. And Caleb says Highlanders fan, and Holland didn't suffer a break, so hopefully speedy recovery. Are they not showing the game, says Misfit Matcher? They are. They are currently showing it to... it is 1,160 people watching at the moment on the Huddy Sports YouTube channel. Now going off to the right-hand side. Tinanana to Satoro, I should say, gets back up and scores in the corner. It looks like he had someone land on his back. It would have been quite a heavy experience for him, but has scored in the corner. He was initially ankle tapped, but then got back up to his feet, went again, And just a good backline movement there. Callum Harkin, in fact, it was Ruben Love trying to make the tackle. You can notice him because of the bleach blonde hair, but it wasn't enough to slow him down, and Atiro Nalasatura just powers through him and gets the try anyway. We got a new channel. Remember, it's not on my YouTube channel, Misfit Match. It's on the Huddy Sports YouTube channel. It's a whole different YouTube channel. He's loved playing 15 or 10. So here's, by the way, plans. He is supposed to be playing in the 10 jersey with Callum Harkin at 15, but that looked like he was covering as a 15, didn't it? Why is it not showing? Because it's not on this YouTube channel. It's on the Huddy Sports YouTube channel. That's the name of the channel is Huddy Sports. If you type in Hurricanes versus Chiefs, it will literally be the first one that pops up in the live section. I can't see it on Honey Sports. It's not Honey Sports, it's Huddy. I actually had this trouble when I was trying to find it as well, because Huddy is such a weird name. But yeah, Huddy, Huddy Sports is where you can watch the game. That one has missed away to the side. The Chiefs are going to be leading in this contest, though, 5-0 in their favour after the 7 minutes. One second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like this. Huddy or Buddy? Huddy, Huddy. A Highlanders fan says John. And Chiefs should have D-Mac 15 and Jacob is the 10. But now, nicely slapped back by the Hurricanes. Tupavai almost ended up with the ball in the hands. I just looked at Hurricanes versus Chiefs preseason on YouTube, says Jordan. Yeah, it is the first one that normally pops up. So Jacob can get more game time. And it pops up, says Jordan there. Now it's going to be the scrum feed in favour of the Hurricanes due to that knock-on from Tupavai. So for more in the front row. Suffered the injury last year. There's actually a few guys returning from injury this season, which is very good to see, of course. All of these men back out there on the field. Why do we give a guy who's leaving to another team next year more game time over players who will be here next year? I think it's just probably trying to make the most of the money that you've spent on that guy. Is Huddy Sports New Zealand geo-locked? I don't think so. I think that someone in South Africa was asking about where to watch it, and they were told that option. Now, I don't know whether or not they were able to get onto the stream in the end. I know that it's based out of Wellington, but yeah, I assume you'd still be able to watch it elsewhere. Kumiroa is a good scrummager, says Jordan. World Cup starts today, says Islanders fan. Yeah, the T20 World Cup, it must be Pakistan versus Netherlands in the opening contest, isn't it? Te Eri Tara Eneri. Now to feed this ball into the scrum. It's a good solid push from the Canes, and they will get themselves the penalty advantage. Oh, bit of a ball. Going back for the penalty there, the front row of the Chiefs under too much pressure. It might have been Lawakai who managed to win himself the penalty there, popping up the head of his opposite number. In fact, it might have been on the other side. It might have been Dyer and Xavier Numia having that battle. Because D-Mac wouldn't come off much at 15, says John. Now kicked into the corner by the Hurricanes. This is going to be an attacking-minded game for both of these sides. Ruben Love looks stupid, says John. Yeah, he decided to dye his hair. He does look a little bit interesting at the moment, you do have to say. It's not quite as bad as some of those lockdown haircuts we saw from the sides a while ago. Now Safwa Moore ready to throw this ball in. Warner Durns does claim it. 10 metres out from the line, now looking to roll this one forward. WF is Love's haircut. He decided he wanted to do something different to stand out. But yeah, it's an interesting choice. He is wearing the number 10 jersey at the moment, ladies and gents, for anyone who was wondering about that 15 or fly half situation. The Super Rugby New Zealand teams have overseas player restrictions, like for top 14 teams. I'm not actually sure what the selection policy is, but all I know is if there is one, I guess it would make sense because not many sides do select too many overseas guys. But then at the same time, I feel like they also like to make sure that it's the New Zealand talent that is amongst their teams. And once again, I don't know whether or not that's because of something that New Zealand Rugby have or whether that's just what they prefer. It's probably cheaper to get guys in from the NPC rather than getting a guy from overseas. Now going off to the left-hand side, Devon Flanders going in behind a Ruben Love. Almost drops that ball but manages to get it away to Callum Harkin who looked for the offload. He's going to knock that one on. Now Simasoni Taukiaho Yeah, Hamish, let's make a bet. If we win, you got to go blonde. You've just said how stupid it looks, though, so why would I want to do it? Like, I feel like it would probably look better on Ruben Love than it looks on me. So, no, we can't be doing that. How much do you think it comes down to money? Probably a bit. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to spend, let's say, to get a guy in from overseas, it's probably going to cost you, I don't even know what the numbers are, maybe $200,000 or something like that. I don't know. Just throwing out a random ballpark. Or you can get someone from the NPC for 30 to 50,000 for the season. Once again, don't know if those are the real numbers, but you're probably paying about a fifth of the amount if you're buying a guy in from New Zealand rather than getting a guy from overseas. So it just makes sense financially for these sides to do that. Plus, you're going to build up your own young talent for the future years when those overseas guys are going to leave you. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. We do see Lalakai Feketi is actually down. I found it, Kiwi Lad says Misfit. Hopefully you've got thank you, so I assume you have managed to find it, which is great news. And also we have got there the Hurricanes backline incredibly out of sync, says Freshman. And this looks like bad news here. Lalakai Feketi has stayed down with a bit of an injury here and is now limping his way off of the field. So I would say, without saying anything too severe, but there's a chance that he's now out for the season. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully only a couple weeks or something like that. Our centres are so low. I can't be having that already, says John. I wish more South Africans would come over for Super Rugby. Yeah, see, you don't really see a lot of South Africans actually make the trip. Like, I'm trying to think through at recent seasons. We had a Namibian in the NPC. That was Leroux Milan. But outside of that, I don't think we see a huge amount of South Africans in this competition. Unless they are already, like, based in New Zealand, if that makes sense. You sneezed at the pont drop something. People are outraged by that try, by the way. Everyone's been going on about it being a knock-on across social media, I see. But yeah, it's one of those ones that, of course, it won't change the result now. South Africa's bringing more players back to South Africa to compete in the URC and the Champions Cup. Yeah, although surely there's enough other guys, like the guys in the Carlin Curry Cup. Maybe once again, financially, it doesn't make sense to bring in a South African player from grassroots rugby when you can bring in one from New Zealand instead. And Milan was the Magpie centre right or nah? I think he was, yeah, at Hawke's Bay for last season. I have a hearing aid, so I didn't hear you. What I hear is something is different to you, so no offence, says Misfit. No, it's all good. I will mention the channel membership, though, if you do want to refund that, since it isn't actually showing the game. Like, I'm more than happy for you to do that. I think you have to contact YouTube, though, to be able to get rid of it. But until then, until you cancel it, you have got access to those little emojis that you can use in the chat just for fun. Enere is such an average halfback, just like some of the Blues ones, says Jordan. They are going to go back now for another scrum here. Once again, decent looking crowd in Porirua for this contest, which is fantastic to see. It is one of the last Super Rugby preseason games that we are seeing. One of the, or I believe the last, on New Zealand soil. Fiji and Raw, they're going to be playing up against a Fiji provincial kind of made-up side that has taken place in about an hour and 45, or 2 hours 45, in fact. I'd say make it Super 12 again, bring in the Cheetahs. So do you think they'll give up their Challenge Cup spot to play Super Rugby? Because that might be something that they'd have to think about. Now, they did finish, I think, very close to dead last in their group. I didn't get a happy birthday. I want a refund. Says I am nutty. It doesn't tell me when your birthday is, though. But now going off to the right, here comes Fihi Norfo. Very dangerous player. I believe he is actually going to be heading overseas next season. Now back across to the left-hand side. Geordie Barrett puts it into the hands of Devon Flanders, driving tackle on him by Simasoni Tolkiaho. Stop talking about South Africans. That's what these South Africans in the chat want you to do, says Jordan. I mean, to be fair, though, it was like nothing that he said. He hasn't been like the ones on the Six Nations streams who were just constantly going like South Africa would beat all of these sides all the time. Like, at least he's using Super Rugby as the base of the question. They always try and make everything about themselves, even when the topic has nothing to do with them, says Jordan. But once again, like NPC-wise, he did ask, are there any South Africans in the competition? I sometimes ask that or at least not ask it out loud, but like I'll look at like other teams in the French top 14 and go, are there any New Zealanders in the team? See who I can spot from the old days. Just showing another scrum will be taking place. A little bit of breeze in Porirua by the looks of it at this point in time. Now still 5-0 in favour of the Chiefs. How would Japanese teams rank in Super Rugby? A Japan versus Super Rugby finale would be feasible. It would be interesting. I know that they do it for the NRL. Oh, little bit of a fumble there for Fihi Whenua out on the wing, but he's managed to regather that ball on the 22. Yeah, we get to see the NRL finalist, or the winner of the final of the NRL, go head-to-head with the winner of the England Rugby League. So maybe that would be quite cool to see a Super Rugby versus... In fact, we did get it, was it last year or the year prior, we got to see some New Zealand sides face Japanese teams. I guess they kind of did do it, but maybe there wasn't enough ask for them to do it again. Drop ball from Safwa Moore, so they will go back for the original penalty. South African, please don't be nasty. Are we not all bad? Says Misfits. I live in New Zealand, says Cut there too. Yeah, we just recently had a young South African join my junior cricket team. Fun fact. And I knew how to say his name because of these live streams. Oh, they've called for the scrum here, the Hurricanes, rather than kicking for the corner. We see the bench warming up, which is a group of about, I believe, 23 reserves the Hurricanes have packed into this game. So as there, this tiny 5'9" South African hooker that plays for Taranaki, I think. What's his name? I know that Geordie Phil-Ewan is one who comes to mind when it comes to this Hurricanes team. Man, the Canes get it so good, says Cut. We did do Crusaders versus Munster, and we had preseason games with Japan League 1, says John. Yeah, that Crusaders-Munster game was such a failure because of the fact that they literally buried it amongst Six Nations games, so no one ended up watching it, except for the ones who actually had to search for it. Like, that was such a shame, because that was the potential of starting like a Club World Cup kind of back and forth situation beforehand, but they tried to sweep it under the rug. Quick tap taken by Braden Yose. He will get close to the try line. He's going to be held up individually by Amoni Narawa. That is phenomenal strength from the Chiefs winger. Now off to the right, Isaiah Walker, Leo Witty. He will be dragged down 1 metre short. This is a great opportunity for the Hurricanes to get back into this contest. Yossi got monstered by Narawa, and the ball stolen there by the Chiefs. By Brown. Oh, bounce pass goes behind Jerome Brown this time. Ronnie Maui. Ronnie Maui's the big Fijian prop, I should say. But yeah, now I've forgotten his name. Amoni Narawa. There we go. We got it out of the end. I'm thinking of the Fijian draw a bit too much. To be honest, Canes look like the Taranaki jersey. Oh, looks like Josh Jacobs also picked up an injury here. Not good news for this Chiefs side. Oh no, he's back up and he's running round. Jai Tamati as the other Canes halfback, says freshman. And also we have got there, Japan did play in Super Rugby the Sunwolves. And also remember them, says Misfit. Geordie Phil-Ewan was at the Canes though, wasn't he, last season? I'm not sure whether or not he's transferred anywhere else. He's not playing in this game, but just in general, he was at the Canes, wasn't he? And we have got there, so would Japanese teams compete against Super Rugby in your opinion? Or not enough knowledge, says I'm nutty. It depends on when they play. Because we've got to remember, a lot of the internationals, let's just say, for instance, the South African internationals wouldn't be there for the Japanese sides if they played outside of the Super Rugby window. So if it was happening at the same time and they could keep all of their players, they'd probably drop the budget of the Japanese sides if they weren't playing in the Japanese League 1 as well. So there are a lot of factors that would result in probably a lot of players being lost for the Japanese sides, and then I don't think they'll be as competitive. They need all of their internationals to make them the great sides, I feel. Chiefs defence need to be under 20 points on average a game to win the championship, says John. He's still there. He played last week, says freshman. And what part of South Africa are you from? Now scrum feed here again. Currently 90 minutes through. This match is actually going very quickly. The Hurricanes, though, they had a golden opportunity to be able to score. Just couldn't quite get that job done. Shake him, taking a few deep breaths here. Did have some sort of little injury. Fun fact, Kiwis are actually taller on average than South Africans. Yes, the language sounds like Dutch, but the height didn't carry over. Says Jordan. I feel like it's like anything though, isn't it? How you got your tall ones and you got your short ones. I haven't seen too many people walking around looking like Artigas Neyman over here, but I'm sure there are a few somewhere. Now Isaiah Waka Leowiri trying to pop that ball up on the right-hand side. Didn't quite look like he was able to feed it away. Now Geordie Barrett wide, cut our pass to, it will be Fihi Finianofo once again, trying to carve his way through all that. It's an ugly tackle in the air. I think they're going to go back for the initial infringement. I tell that to Eben and Artige. Hamish looks very red, says Brandon. Do I? I feel like I'm not as red as I normally look, which is quite nice. I don't think I've been sunburnt recently, so that's ideal. But yeah, tackle off the ball, I think is the call there, but they are going back for the initial penalty in favour of the Hurricanes. You men? Read my chat, please, Hamish. And 7 of the last 9 champions have had a defence letting up less than 20 points a game. Chiefs have never had that, which probably has something to do with it. Well, to be fair, the Chiefs have lost 3 finals in a row, haven't they? So, like, the only game that really matters for them to concede less than 20 points and score more than their opposition is that final. But, like, I don't think their, like, defence throughout the regular season is the reason they've been losing those finals. Typo, sorry, says Misfit. Tell that to Sam and Josh. Says Jordan, I should be talking Sam Derry and Josh Lord, right? Now ready to throw this one in for Safwa Moore. Nicely taken by Devon Flanders. Now looping around as Iwaka Leo Wiri. Now cross to Braden Yossi, the middle of the field. This Hurricanes loose forward trio will be extremely strong this year, definitely with Duplessis Karifi and Peter Lakai still to come. Hamish, do you think I got better at making thumbnail? Which thumbnail have you made recently, Brandon? I haven't actually had a look at I think you said you sent me something on Discord, but I haven't actually been on Discord other than just linking the live streams. Now, Callum Harkin running short side. He could be one to keep an eye out for the Canes, although getting right in the breakdown, it's Amoni Narawa again. He's having an absolutely phenomenal start to this contest. Of course, he was going well for the All Blacks up until that injury left him out for the rest of the season. 3 of the 4 finals, we have led up more than 20 points. Each Crusaders final of the last 4, they haven't led up more than 20, says John. Narawa having a game and a half right now, and whereas Duplessis Karifi, I believe they are just leaving him out for this contest. I don't know whether he was on the injury list. I don't think he was, so I think it's more so just like Cam Roigard resting him for now before chucking him in for Super Rugby. As the last thing that they want is any sort of injury. I mean, we saw Lalakai Faketi just a little bit earlier on. I ended up with that knee injury of some sort. So that stat line just shows that 20-point voodoo. Does it really, though? Or does it just so that the Crusaders in finals score more points than their opposition? Hamish, can you cover Olympics? I don't know too much about the Winter Olympics, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be able to name you 5 athletes that are in that Winter Olympics whole competition, let alone the Kiwis in it. Okay, that makes complete sense then. So here's Misfit. And Inari is having a shocker so far, says Freshman. Now cross kick goes, well taken by Fihi Finianofo. Manages to keep it in the field of play. Offload from a Safwa Moore. Goes back to Finianofo again. Trying to cut his way through the defence. Tackle made by Tupovai and Amoni Narawa. A bit slow getting back up to his feet here, though. Fihi Finianofo looks like maybe a little bit of a limp. Hopefully he is all right. He'd be one of the standouts for them throughout this season. Though I believe he is going overseas, which does make it a little bit rough because that would mean that more than likely All Black selection will be out of the question now. Geordie Barrett thought about selling the short pass. Instead goes out to Fihi Finianofo. You're going to hear that man's name a lot throughout the season by the looks of it. Good clean out from Barrett in the breakdown. Eritara Inari going off to the right-hand side. The Canes have had a lot of attack in just the recent maybe 15 minutes or so, but they haven't been able to turn it into points as of yet. It's been solid defence from this Chiefs side. Emery goes to Geordie Barrett. Skip pass on the outside. First touch of the day for Josh Morby. Gets back up to his feet. Driven into touch by Wallace Satiti. And a bit of push and shove afterwards as well. I think a couple of the Canes took a little bit of offence to the way that Satiti pushed Morby into touch. There weren't a huge amount of arms involved. And now a bit of push and shove between the two sides in front of the hammer throw area. I'm sure you're looking forward to covering your second World Cup. Also, when is the next Sevens World Cup? I don't know if they've got the Sevens World Cup anymore. Someone was saying that they've gotten rid of that because of the Olympics, although they used to have both. Does anyone know how I can watch this game? I do, Regan. If you type into YouTube, it's Huddy Sports, Huddy Sports. They have got the Super Rugby Preseason one on Huddy Sports Live. Says Misfits there. Crusaders in final, don't let up more than 20. 7 and 9 champions don't let up more on average of 20 points. It does line up. Chiefs have let up more than 20 points 3 times in 4 finals. Yeah, but it's still the case of, like, you could pick a random number and it would still kind of work in that scenario because, like, at the end of the day, if the opposition is scoring more than 20 points, like, no matter what the game is, whether it's a final, whether it's a group stage fixture, whether it's just some random preseason game, you're more than likely going to lose if you do concede more than 20. Unless, of course, you can score a massive amount yourselves. Huddy says Misfit there. But now that's another stop try here. The Hurricanes just a couple metres out from the try line and dragged down by the Chiefs. Some more phenomenal defence from just out from their goal line. 26 minutes in for this contest at the moment. What we will quickly do is we'll update our scoreboard while we're out. I can't believe we're only 5-0 in this game, but I do think that is a massive credit to the way that the Chiefs have been defending throughout this matchup. Come on, the Canes, says BTW Padza. You know, haven't really got a lot going as of yet in this one. And now ball is going to be fed in. Wallace Satiti trying to break his way off the back. Geordie Barrett almost managed to get the steal there. Now back to Josh Jacob. And Hurricanes need to put Geordie at fullback and play Riley Higgins at 12. Is Riley Higgins injured at the moment, or is he just not there for now? Like, I'd love to see him back in action because he was one of those guys that really did seem to step up. Now, ball on the outside from Geordie Barrett to Warner Dearns. Was that a croc roll? Oh, I assume you're talking about that one that I've just seen there. It looked a bit interesting from Josh Lord, to be fair. We did see a couple lethal shots in the game between the Highlanders and also Moana Pacifica. A little bit isolated, as they've said. So we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. Oh, okay, it won't work. Oh, now going across to the side. And Nano Saturo doesn't quite manage to get that one. I am very torn to who to support this year because I live in Chiefs country, but I love all the New Zealand teams. It does make it difficult trying to pick your side, of course. But I'd say that the Chiefs would happily accept your support if you're in Chiefs country, although the best way to do it is just think of 5 players that you like from each team and pick which one is your favourite. G'day, Hamish, no cricket today? No, because of all the sevens and also the Super Rugby Preseason and whatnot, that meant that I was probably going to have to take the day off from the cricket. Also, no junior cricket due to Waitangi Day weekend. And hurry up, the Canes, says Shane. But yeah, no cricket for me today, but the team are playing. And in fact, you've reminded me that they are playing at the moment. I'll have a quick look. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Chiefs. They're only 10 metres out now from the Hurricanes line in a very good position. I wonder if they're batting or bowling first. Hopefully they're bowling, because if they were batting first, I was going to consider going to see how they were going. And the verdict is they are bowling first. The opposition are 1 for 58 off 10 overs at the moment. 1 wicket taken. And that's all so far. But now 30 minutes in. Chiefs defence is really on point, says Daniel. They've looked really solid. I feel Jordan's really trying to hone down his point about how some Kiwis are tall. We have got there, cut the says Misfit. And also thanks, says Stuart. And where is this watchable? Yeah, so it is on Huddy Sports on YouTube. For being able to watch it. Now, Xavier Rowe. Going to take the quick tap. And we have got there, sorry, my bad, says Misfits for the typo, getting too caught up in stats. The Chiefs just choke when it counts. Yeah, it's unfortunate because it is kind of true with the fact that they've been so close on multiple occasions, and then you watch them in the final and they're just not the team that they've been throughout the rest of the year. Now, the benefit of last season was because they qualified first, they got that lifeline. I don't know if they're doing that this year. I'd assume that they still are. But that took away their home field advantage. So rather than playing at FMG Stadium up against the Crusaders, they found themselves down in Christchurch, which was always going to be an uphill battle from the get-go. Geordie Barrett passes on the outside. Now Morby goes to Callum Harkin, kick downfield inside of his 22. And taller than Table Mountain, or should I say Hill, says Jordan. I hope Xavier Rowe has a good season. Showed a lot of promise in 2024 Sea Studs race. And I was not a fan of that rule. Yeah, it was one of those ones that, like, I guess because of the fact that they were first, they wanted some sort of reward for that side. Plus, they didn't want 8 teams through to the quarterfinals. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. We are back. Bugger Chiefs lost the line out, says Daniel. And also, we have got the... yeah, no doubt they choke, but it's just something I've noticed. About 20 points may not mean anything, but it is interesting to see, says John Dykes. Now, nicely taken. Now, Simasoni Tolkiaho tries the big fend. It's a good low tackle made by Josh Morby. It's actually another player who did spend a little bit of time in an overseas competition. He was with Montpellier, I believe. Did come back early in his contract rather than completing it. There is the T20 World Cup starting tonight. To whoever asked about the cricket, says Misfits match. Yeah, that's going to be Pakistan versus Netherlands in that opening one. We have got there. Why you say my whole government name like that? You got a hit on me or something? What, isn't John Dykes? I said Daniel Cox's full name too, if it makes you feel slightly better. What are your thoughts on the refs not issuing a yellow card if a penalty try is awarded? Wait, not issuing one or issuing one, Daniel Cox? Because I know that they have changed a few of the laws in Super Rugby, haven't they? Oh, nice take from a Safwa Moore. A little bit of a lack of protection for the ball on the ground from the Chiefs, and the Hurricanes make the most of it, getting themselves possession back. There you go. We'll go like that. And like that. And man, the boys have been playing so hard in the preseason. Yeah, and that's the thing is you want to see them go at 150%, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to risk those injuries early on. Oh, that one's gone into touch. Good clear and kick from the Hurricanes, but again, the Chiefs are going to find themselves in an attacking position. I have not heard Tama Falau at all. Yeah, he hasn't really been involved in this game as of yet for the Chiefs, although to be fair, of the 33 minutes of this game, we've probably seen about 20 minutes of attack from the Hurricanes, or at least possession for the Hurricanes. So, yeah, Tama Falau just kind of biding his time. He's on the far side of the field as well. Everything's been happening on this near side. Josh Morby's only touched the ball twice, and that's been in the last maybe 5 minutes. But outside of that, it's been Ofihi Finianofo and Amoni Narawa in a brilliant head-to-head on the other kind of side of the field. Now Xavier Rowe back across to Pavai. He goes to Josh Lord. That'll pop pass up and behind finds Josh Jacob. It's the battle of the Joshes and a knock on there from a man not named Josh. Now Hurricanes in possession once more. Eritara Eneri goes across to Ruben Love. Balin Sullivan still inside of the 22, so was able to kick this one downfield. Also a new law change in Super Rugby involves the fact that you are allowed to take it back into your 50 to be able to kick a 50-22. Something else that has been changed. I got a hot dog and hot chips cart there by the looks of it. Two of my favourite things. The food, not the carts. We have got there is 50-50 for that rule change. It's the rule they've changed, says Daniel, and I'm not a fan of that, says Cut. in there as well. Now, line-out throw for Samisoni Taukei'aho. Still 5-0 in this game. Who would have thought it? That these two sides were going to have such a low-scoring preseason fixture. Definitely because last week we saw the Chiefs bring up about 40 points up against the Fijian Roar. In fact, they almost got the half-century, I believe. And then the Hurricanes were able to score 44 points up against the Blues. And number one for the Chiefs is Bennett Kumiroa. And for the Hurricanes is Xavier Numia. Says Jordan. That is correct. Oh, who is the number one I see from John? But now, passing it off. Play on. Looks like it's going to be the call. So Masoni Taukei'aho looking for the steal on the breakdown. Braden Yossi passing out to Ruben Love. The fact that we have hardly seen Ruben Love, though, as well, with the fact that he's the 10 is a bit of a concern there for the Hurricanes, although now gets his hands on the ball. Eritara Inari. Looks like Callum Harkin's going to play as first receiver now. In fact, no, Yossi's going to take it. Then Harkin, then Love. Passed on the outside to Fihi Finina Norfo. Trying to go over the top of Josh Jacob, making a very nice tackle on him, though. I love the 50-22 by passing it back. Is not okay. The 50-22 is so special because we don't get 10 a game. So when they pull one off, it's amazing, says Cut. Norris moved to the Blues, or wrong guy, says John. I don't think he's moved. I know that Ta'avao has gone from the Blues to the Landers, and the season before that he was with the Chiefs. So he's trying to cover every Super Rugby New Zealand side before retiring. No, he hasn't. Not that I know of. He's still with the Chiefs, I think, says Misfit. 36 minutes in. Just talking about Riley Higgins and that injury from last season. I believe he is going to feature in the second half by the looks of it. Do you know, or do you think Scotland will beat Italy tomorrow in Rome? Should be a crack. I think they should get the job done, although Italy will not be an easy side to face at home. I feel like that's their best chance of being able to get the victory. TK Howden at 6 and Flanders at 8. For the All Blacks, says Jordan. Yeah, see, I don't know where they see TK Howden at the moment and whether or not they still see Tupavai as a number 6 option or whether they're going to put him back to lock. But Devon Flanders, it would be nice to see him get some sort of All Blacks minutes throughout this year. I think it's thoroughly deserved. And if he doesn't, maybe his younger brother in the future could be one to watch out for. Kick downfield from Xavier Rowe. Didn't quite strike it the way that he would have liked, but 3 minutes left. Higgins is All Black material in my opinion. Says freshman. Yeah, see, ever since, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, he's just looked like a really handy option for the Canes. So hopefully he can stay injury-free. That's the main thing. As long as these guys stay injury-free up until that first All Black selection. Hear about Holland's injury. I did. Not ideal for the Highlanders, but it happens every single year, unfortunately, that they lose multiple players. Daniel Rona running up the field now for the Chiefs on the counter-attack. Xavier Rowe pops it back on the inside to Rona once more. And, it's going to be a knock-on from the Chiefs. Good defence from the Hurricanes after the initial break was made by Daniel Rona. Vai said that he's a lock. I guess we'll see, says Studs Race. Yeah, see, it was quite funny. The first time that he got played at 6, he said that he thought they were all taking the piss out of him, saying that he wasn't actually, he thought it was a joke. But then actually did quite well in that 6 jersey. I mean, you could argue Wallace Atiti isn't a 6 and they played him there. So, yeah, I don't know whether or not they'll go specialist 6 this year or whether we're going to see someone who plays in a different position get that chance. In the number 6 jersey. I looked really bad for Holland. Looked like a dislocated shoulder to me. Says Misfit. And yeah, if he ends up missing the season for the Highlanders, we've got to remember, that's a huge blow for that team because he won the most lineouts. I think it was out of anyone in the competition. He had quite a few lineout steals, and overall, I think it was a lot of dominant tackles. Is Holland done for the season or 3 or 4 weeks? I think it's undetermined at the moment, but it could be either, which is the concern. Josh Morby now. Inside of the 22, will kick this one downfield. Currently, the score after the 39 minutes is still 5-0 for the Chiefs. Kicked him on from Nanai Saturo. Is this the chance? No, Balin Sullivan pops it off to Ruben Love. Really nicely done by the Canes. So get that clearing kick going. I can guarantee you no one thought this game was going to be this low scoring at halftime. But Josh Jacob has an opportunity with the Chiefs to be able to get this one maybe looking a little bit more one-sided by the halftime break. Up the Blues, says Rugby Itch there. Yeah, big win for the Blues over the Crusaders. Oh, penalty against the Chiefs. Tupavai. Oh, no. In fact, penalty to the Chiefs. Penalty to the Hurricanes. The referee was just playing with his wrong arm. But yeah, the big win for the Blues. And like I mentioned, no one in preseason has had 2 wins from 2 yet. But one of these two sides will have that kind of... But is that good or bad? I don't know if you want to win both your preseason games because that puts a lot of pressure on your regular season. Nah, you still want to win the preseason, don't you? Eriktara Eneri and Funaki are in the same boat. They're both bad. And to be honest, for me, Holland needs to somewhat grow up here, start more ball carrying. He just looks soft to the point, not hard ball carrying lock. Says John. Well, to be fair, and in his defence, I think that's mainly because of how much he does on defence. You know, he's normally right up there for tackle numbers, and also he makes a lot of dominant tackles, so he's good off the ball. And he's had a few carries throughout the season for the Highlanders as well. It's just he can't be everywhere. And for the Highlanders, sadly, he had to be because they were pretty poor last season with their dead last finish. Currently halftime coming up in this contest. Eritara Eneri. Oh, that's ruled as unplayable. So that's going to be halftime, ladies and gentlemen, in this contest. Who would have thought 5-0 would be the way that this scoreline sat? He carries plenty, says Freshman. Yeah, I feel like it depends on what you're looking at from him. Because for the Highlanders, he had quite a few carries throughout last season. For the All Blacks, he had a few when he was given the chance. But once again, he did a lot on defence. Although, also, I nearly guessed the Landers versus Moana game. I guessed 40-33. It was 41-31. To be fair, he's better than Crazy Roided Mental Etzbeth, says Jordan. Jeez, don't say what you really think, Jordan. I recall Cruz losing 3 preseason games, then winning the comp. Doesn't really mean much watching for combos and connection on defence. And yeah, at the end of the day, if you win those games early, it just puts more pressure on. You know, if you go 2 from 2 in preseason, everyone goes, okay, it's their year, they're going to win the whole thing. And then from the very first week, you feel like you cannot afford to lose anything. What's your prediction for the Super Rugby season? Oh, it's a tricky one. Because I'm terrible at predictions, as you know. For me, like, this is pretty easy to say, but I think it's going to be a New Zealand team. I think the Crusaders are going to be hard to beat. I think that the Chiefs, if they can get over that hump, they possibly could go on to win this competition from what we're seeing defensively throughout these preseason games, as well as last year. They had some really good moments. I like the Hurricanes. The Blues, they're a bit of an unpredictable one, as you know, being a Blues supporter, but I just don't see the Highlanders having a chance, unfortunately, out of the New Zealand sides. Are you a Crusaders fan, aren't you? I am not. I am living in the region of the Crusaders, almost the Highlanders, to be fair, in terms of location. What do you think of the Blues beating the Crusaders? Preseason, isn't it? But, I mean, if the Blues want to use that as fuel for the next time that they play them, go for it. But you can't underestimate the Crusaders in the regular season because they somehow find a way. And that's the tricky part. Tim, is it like 2 a.m. where you are, by the way? Are you in the UK at the moment, or are you somewhere else, maybe in Hong Kong currently, so it might not be as bad time-wise? Can any Australian team challenge the Brumbies for the best Australian team? The Reds are always relatively up there, I feel, but the Brumbies at GIO Stadium are just a whole different beast. I don't think any Australian side plays as well at home as the Brumbies do. Now, some have said that's because of the decisions that go their way at home, but, you know, it's definitely impressive what they can do at GIO Stadium. He may carry plenty, but it's not hard ball carrying. He's just doing it. Nothing that much force to break the line. With that punch, with the people who would put him in the combo with Brodie Retallick, and with the people who would put him in the combo with Brodie Retallick is so dumb. That's because, you know, Holland's at the start of his career, Brodie's at the end of his. So it's like the ones comparing Sasha to Dan Carter at the moment. They're in 2 completely different places in their careers. For all we know, touch wood and everything like that, Fabian Holland could end up with a career-ending injury this season. You know, that's a sad reality. Brodie Retallick, he's had how many years under his belt in a Super Rugby kit as well as just internationally. So, like, I hate the comparisons when it's so early because of the fact that that young player just ends up with so much more pressure. They feel like they have to play that little bit harder, and then when that Achilles snaps completely, they go, oh, I guess I can't live up to that expectation now. Because you are anti-South African. Says Misfit. Who's that? Oh, no, we've seen that's from Jordan. And we have, I honestly think Chiefs or Hurricanes will win it. Almost 1 a.m. going to bed pretty much now, says Tim. I'm just very busy with the PhD. Yeah, we'll have to try and get something going at some stage, Tim. Maybe if the Blues win their opening contest or something like that, we'll have to get you on afterwards so you can tell everyone how good they are and that it's their year. But, yeah, we'll have to do something. Once you're free, of course. Sasha ain't even on the same planet as Dan Carter. Well, he is. Like, theoretically, we are all on Earth, aren't we? But, yeah. It's one of those ones that sometimes you just got to wait and see. And then at the end of the career, you go, was that as good as this? Maybe. And then it's still debated for the next, decade. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. We are good. Anyone remember Elton Yankees? I do, yeah. Interesting haircut. I always used to say his barber didn't like him. But very good player. And good luck for the rest of the stream, says Rugby Itch. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, hopefully you manage to get some sleep before the big old weekend of Sevens and Six Nations and all sorts. Chiefs versus Blues first game of the Super Season at the Blues home, says Daniel. And Love Delton, says John there. And I actually know what I mean, says John. And good because of what he was on, says Jordan. That was only in the very latest stages of his career. He had been drug tested a lot before that stage, Jordan. So to say that he was on it his whole career is just blatantly wrong. But yeah, there's been a few good players get pinged, unfortunately. And they haven't all been from South Africa. In fact, New Zealand at one stage had a really bad problem with it. But luckily we sweep that one under the rug. I just sneezed again. I might be going to the NRL Māori All-Stars next weekend, if I can get a ticket, says Mark. I love with the tour, man, the Afro. Slowing him down a bit today, Ruben run. Get that starting spot, says Shane. Jordan, are you South African or funny mentioning Elton, says Misfits. And also, we have got there. Where did it go? It was another one. Why do you think the Brumbies have always challenged the Kiwi teams more than any other Aussie team? I think they've always had those few real key players. You're talking about Dianti. And what do you know about New Zealand drug taking? Says Studs Race. Probably shouldn't go into it. And after last night, can't watch any more rugby. Just missing, learn more after a good old thrashing. Sports drugs, says Studs Race. And yes, says Jordan. Currently half-time in this contest between the Canes and the Chiefs. 1 second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that. You have an update on 3 for 73 now after 16 overs. Who got the wickets? Just keeping an eye on that out of the corner of my eye as well while we are waiting for the second half. Sorry, I've just joined in. Has anyone else been a bit underwhelmed by Love at 10? He was so good last year, says Tanaka. Yeah, he's had a bit of a rough start. But at the same time, I think maybe that's just the preseason. Hopefully when it gets into the regular season, he will be a lot stronger. And hopefully he starts to fire up a little bit more. He's definitely made himself stand out with that new haircut. So we'll be able to see him no matter where he is on the field. I hope it's a high-scoring second half, says Jordan. Hopefully, yeah. 5-0 was not what I was expecting here at all. I thought we would be looking at maybe 2015 or somewhere around there, at least a couple tries per side. But I think that, once again, that is a little bit down to the fact that the Chiefs have looked very strong defensively. I know people who have done it and not caught, says Studs Race. Yeah, and sometimes it's just the luck of the draw, isn't it? Some people do it the whole career and never get pinged because they know exactly how to hide it. And then others get pinged the first time that they do it and then their career's ruined. This is what I expect from Love, says Freshman. Everyone looks a bit rusty, to be honest. And yeah, I think that, like, the thing is, the Hurricanes, they have a bye next week, so they've still got that little bit more time to gel as a unit, and they'll probably find some sort of little run around to do next week too. And just to keep them fresh, ready to go for that game up against Moana Pacifica, that is taking place in 13 days' time, the Friday night fixture of round number 2. And then on the Saturday, the week after, they are playing up against the Fijian Roar. That is in 3 weeks' time at the end of February. For the Chiefs, they have got a game next week up against the Blues. Then they play the Highlanders. Then they play the Crusaders. A nice little, I'd say a nice little tough start for this side, seeing as they have to face all the Kiwi teams in their first 3 weeks. If they get 3 wins from 3, it would be absolutely massive for the Chiefs' confidence as they move forward in the Super Rugby season. But I'd say even two out of 3 is probably quite good. Person who has caught my eye is Narawa. Narawa's done very well throughout this one. It's Curry Cup, not Curry. Says Misfit. And also, at least we can go to the stadiums. I saw that the Curry Cup final had like 5K fans and a 60K stadium, says Jordan. I feel like it's not a good comparison to make, though, because like it just depends on the region. You know, Carling Curry Cup is the equivalent of the NPC here in New Zealand. So there are a lot of New Zealand games that had less than 5K. I think before every international match, all players should be tested. Says John, I think most of them are, to be fair. What is up with the Chiefs starting 5 games? It is very hard last year. Now this year, it's like, what? Says John. Yeah, they're not getting the easy draw at all, are they, the Chiefs? It's like the Blues had the draw that no one wanted last year, didn't they? Yeah, the NPC final has like 18K, says Jordan. Okay, so what about the URC derby that happened not too long ago for South African sides? They had, I think it was 55,000 sold out in attendance. When was the last Super Rugby game we had that many people in the stands? Oh, wait. It's going to be a while because, of course, it depends on the stadium, depends on location. Got to remember that game taking place in Johannesburg, which is considered as one of the least safe regions to go and watch rugby. Also, the least supported side in terms of the whole Curry Cup, or roughly, is probably the Golden Lions. So you got to really put it into perspective rather than just picking what numbers you want to go with and trying to run with a narrative. Like you got to look at it from a perspective rather than biased. But now, 42 minutes through this contest, and currently the Chiefs are on attack in this contest. I confirm all players do get tested, says Daniel. And while Drovis Kane's got 19K and Hawke's Bay, I went to it. Says John there. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Josh Jacob not quite able to get through. He's tackled by Porirua Stones. ABC final had 250K TV viewers. Not great, says Studs Race. Yeah, and like it's like everything. Depending on the teams, depending on the day, depending on what everyone's up to. Beautiful offload there from the Chiefs. Oh, I think Cortez Ratama, did he score that or did he drop it? I think he scored it off of the bench. That's pretty rough, to be fair, for Xavier Rowe, as there were probably not many scoring opportunities at all throughout that first half. Then Ratama comes on the field, and then the ball just goes straight into the hands of Ratama to be able to finish it off 1 metre from the try line as he gets the second try of the contest. Xavier Rowe, he'll be sitting on the sideline going, why? Why didn't I get that? Now chance here for the Chiefs to be able to extend their lead by that little bit more. Well done, Chiefs. Says Misfits there. And also try time, says John in there as well. 250K views for a provincial final ain't that bad, says John Dykes. Now Josh Jacob to line up this kick here. Oh, that's gone very high and has missed away to the right-hand side. He got fully underneath that one, Josh Jacob. If that was a type of golf shot, it would have been probably about a sand wedge. How high that one's gone off the ground. They well and truly get under it, but it does miss away to the side. So 2 missed kicks from the Chiefs throughout the first 43 minutes of this game. But the thing that they haven't missed is the try-scoring opportunities. They have got themselves 2 tries now. The Hurricanes, they're going to need something soon. Jacob, useless kicking, sack him, and out D-Mac on, or get D-Mac on. I don't think D-Mac's even off the bench in this game for the Chiefs. Ratama's looking a little bit bigger than he did last year as well. I think he's actually bulked up a little bit. That looked like obstruction, but it is going to be play on. Atena Nana Satoro tackled by Warner Durns. You're watching this through Huddy Sports on YouTube. It's HUDDY Sports as your best option for being able to watch this one. Now going back across, ball's gone high from Josh Jacob. Callum Harkin running on to try and take it. He has knocked it on. Luke Jacobson has done the same. No, in fact, Jacobson's one went back. Should have kept the 60k capacity set up Eden Park. Had at the 2011 World Cup, says Jordan. But it is a tricky one in a way because, like, you want to sell out the stadium because, like you said, you've literally just said before, you want it to look good. And, you know, constantly having a stadium not sold out, once again, writes narratives of people saying, well, you can't get the attendance that they used to have. I remember I think it was last season, everyone was saying Super Rugby's dead because of the lack of attendance. But then I feel like it just has its kind of ups and downs. We saw people slowly getting back to the games last season. Jerry Collins expected more mongrel, says Shane. Yeah, it got up to 65 at one match, says Jordan. Now, another line-out chance here. It is Crusaders' new stadium opening. Super round of the stadium is when it first comes up. 1.3 million for Super Rugby final, about 1 million for local ABS. You think NBC could draw higher numbers from rugby folk? Says Studs Race. Which crack house did they pick this ref from? That seems rough. For his name's Angus Maybe, I believe, as a referee in charge. That's a great line-out steal there from the Hurricanes. Eritana Ineri now going off to the left-hand side. I mean, Hurricanes probably have the worst, terrible fan base. They don't sell out. This is going to be unpopular. I don't like the Sky Stadium as the Hurricanes location. I feel like you're just too far from the action. You know, you've got all of that area where you're sitting further back. I feel like, you know, being tucked in a little bit further, I don't know, it might help a little bit because, yeah, you're sitting in the stadium, but you feel like you're a mile away from the field. If that makes sense. Really, that's awesome, says Misfit. Brett Cameron, he has made his way onto the field. That is for Ruben Love. And that number 10 jersey, Cortez Ratama, like I mentioned, has already made his way on as the Chiefs number 9 and has already scored in that short stint that he's been out there on the park. 1 second, we'll go like that. Yeah, we'll go like that. Update this time, 46 minutes through at the moment. Now Ratama going off to the right-hand side. Josh Jacob, little shuffle there. Tries to sneak his way through. 40 metres out from the line now. Ratama. It's back across. That's a drop ball. I do see that Amoni Nadawa has also made his way off of the field here. He's done enough throughout that first half, I think, to really confirm his spot. New Christchurch Stadium should have been 40k. It's still going to be a great stadium with the best sound system and acoustics in world rugby. It stands also the closest and steepest allowed, says Jordan. Yeah, I know that people were concerned about the roof, but it's not as low as people think it is. And I think it's very similar to Forsyth Bar, which is good. But now, 33 minutes left. Do the Canes have something in them here for the second half, ladies and gents? I feel like they've got to have something. You know, 1 or 2 tries in them. I would be surprised to go from 44 points in one game to 0 the next. Big scrum there from the Chiefs, though, but not quite able to get that ball back. Riley Higgins goes to Balin Sullivan, passed on the outside to Josh Morby. Canes have gone with much less in terms of subs early on. Although that is Geordie Phil-Ewan now playing out there on the field. Looking to the referee for a penalty. He does not get it. Brett Cameron now. That's a rough pass there from Davida Mafaleo. We'll go back for the penalty once more. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. Gotta love a bit of hay fever, although it should get better as the day goes on. We've still got another probably 10 and a half hours of live streaming still to come on the channel throughout the next about 20 hours. Ladies and gents, so be sure to stick around, and anytime that you think, oh, is there some rugby on throughout the next 24 hours, just pop on to the channel and we'll probably be here. You know that big guy from the Chiefs? He is Fitzar, a 6'8" lock. This is the kind of lock the All Blacks need to come off the bench if Patrick Tuipulotu gets injured. Did he play? He played last week, didn't he? Tanner up against Fiji and draw, right? From what I can remember, he actually had a few very decent moments throughout that game too, if he is the one that I'm thinking of. Now Josh Jacob passes it with a short ball. I don't think it was actually intended for the guy right next to him. Instead was looking to get it out wider. Luke Jacobson now going to be tackled low by Geordie Phil-Ewan. What they call him? Vuion. I think they pronounce Geordie Phil-Ewan's last name. It's an interesting choice. Now Jacobson goes across to Josh Jacob. Running forward again. Ratama. Just building phases here for the Chiefs. Yeah, he also played in the NPC last year too for Waikato. So yeah, he'll be one to keep an eye out for. He'd probably... Oh, that's a big collision. I just hope he gets minutes. Because they've got Tupovai, they've got Josh Lord, and they've got also Naitoa Koi. And then if they also still got... Was Lachlan McWennell there? Who's the fourth lock that I'm thinking of who was at the Chiefs last year? Was it Lachlan McWennell or was he still at the Blues last season? I think it might have been. You're watching on Buddy Sports, on Huddy Sports. Yep, that is how we are watching it. Now if it's Saab plays for Taranaki. And what props do the Chiefs bring on, says Jordan. So for their second half team in this match for the Chiefs, or at least the props that they can bring onto the field, Jared Prophet's out there, and I think Ruben O'Neill is too. Just at this stage. And oh yeah, Taranaki says, Tanner, my Wi-Fi cut out. What did you say about my Hurricanes VIB Stadium thing? I just feel like Sky Stadium, for me anyway, just feels like you're too far away from the field. But then it's not like the furthest away that you be around the world, but it's, you know, with the fact that you're way back around and then the stadium, it looks like a good AFL stadium, to be fair. And I guess it is there for cricket as well. Freshmen, both teams by the looks of them. So here's Tanaka. Now line out throw coming here for the Chiefs. Currently still 10-0 in their favour. It's been a much lower scoring game than first anticipated. But they'll still try and get something going here. Maybe some sort of last minute finish could be on the cards. Cortez Ratama. Back across to the right hand side. Little short pop pass there from the Chiefs. Atino Nana Satoro just not quite able to find his offload. Now to the right. Ratama again. Oh, Naitoa Koi had to take that ball from a grounded position as the pass was just a little bit low. Also did lose his footing in the process. Some interesting haircuts around at the moment. Someone has dyed their hair bright orange by the looks of it. I think it's one of the locks for the Canes. The locks love that hair dye. Let's look at Isaiah Walker, Leo Witty. He also love almost giving away penalties. He landed right on his head, the number 19. They're going to stream Black Cats versus Afghanistan tomorrow. Says Jordan. Are they playing tomorrow, are they? Not sure. Probably not, though. Only because of the fact that throughout the next probably 15 or 16 hours on the channel, we're going to be streaming for a good 10 hours. So adding an extra 3.5 hours onto that might be a little bit brutal. I'm currently watching your live on 2 tabs, watching the Huddy Sports and now Timberwolves vs Pelicans. And Drew says Jordan. And there's well, but I am hoping to maybe do 1 or 2 Black Caps games of that World Cup if I can find time to squeeze it in. But it's also one of the busiest times of the year when it comes to rugby, with Super Rugby starting back up, the Six Nations on, the Sevens also taking place. Makes it a little bit tricky to juggle everything. And now Geordie Phil-Ewan will feed this ball in for the Hurricanes. They're 22 metres out from their own line at the moment. It's going to be a hard one to try and get out of by the looks of it. So they'll just boot it downfield with Fergus Burke. Oh, sorry, Brett Cameron, I should say. I used to always get those two confused. Tenana Saturo running forward now for the Chiefs. They're going to cut through the defence, but Riley Higgins, the first man to make the tackle on him, got pinned into the breakdown and will get penalised for not rolling away. Oh no, ball's available for the Chiefs, so they will actually play the advantage out. And thank goodness for this channel. I only discovered it today, says Misfit. Yeah, we've got plenty more coming up on this channel. Super Rugby games next week. We are going to be covering as many of them as we can throughout the whole season as well. We've got the International Rugby coming up later on. And plenty more in the very near future. They are going back for that initial penalty. Also, the sevens all throughout today. I've got a list of the matches that we are going to be covering. And it's pretty long. I haven't even scheduled all of them. That's how many there are going to be throughout today. We've got USA versus Fiji for the women's game. That starts at 3:30. Then we've got New Zealand versus Japan for the women. We've got South Africa versus Spain, Fiji versus Argentina, New Zealand versus Australia, New Zealand versus Fiji women, South Africa versus Argentina, Fiji versus Spain. Those are the ones that have been scheduled so far. And after that, we've got another 10 live streams for the day. So, seems like a good idea at the time. The hot dogs and hot chips stand, they've shown it again. They're just trying to make me hungry. But now line out throw here for the Chiefs, sitting 32 metres out from the Hurricanes line. Currently up by the 2 tries. I love some hot dog and chips. I would as well, to be fair. Now good attack and run forward once more. Oh, the hands in the ruck there going against the big number 19. That's amazing. Who needs Sky Sports when you have this, says Misfit. Yeah, we've got plenty more coming up. So, yeah, be sure to stick around. Now off to the right-hand side, to the hands of Ruben O'Neill. Now the Chiefs are inside of that 22. Ratama. It's a little pop pass up. Now, pick and go from Noitoa Akoi. Ratama looking off to the left-hand side. Atinanana Saturo trying to sneak through. White hair, blonde, orange hair. Hurricanes WTF, are you smoking? Says John Dice. It's the type of thing that always goes on in preseason. People decide they just want to go for the different hair colours. No one's got the blue hair that I can see, though, at this stage. Or the pink hair. That was quite popular only a couple seasons ago. What time do you have on your game clock, Hamish? I'm out of sync, so my game clock at the moment is 55:15, and that's the try there for the Chiefs. It looked like it was a grounding there. Right, referee thought he scored it. They've actually signalled held up there. That's a big call. Does he get it down? Yeah, they do see the replay and they do award it as a try. There's also a guy called Malachi Rappling. Alec, that was originally in the Chiefs squad. He is now with the Blues. He's another one I'm really excited about. Malachi Rappling. Is he any relation to Gideon Rappling by any chance? And he got that, says Jordan. So, yeah, my clock at the moment is 55 minutes, 53 seconds. I think the Highlanders vs Crusaders is looking like a good crowd. Hopefully close to 20k would be good. Says Jordan. Yeah, hopefully they are able to get... I know that the first round of the Super Round is sold out for the Crusaders Waratahs game, I think it is. But, yeah, hopefully they sell out a few more games beforehand too. It would be nice to see the last game at Orange Theory or at Apollo Project Stadium sold out too. And yes, Aaron says, Start Race, no worries at all. Yeah, they are brothers. He is the flanker. Says Tanner. But now the kick makes the score 17-0 for the Chiefs. So again, it's just getting that little bit better for this Chiefs side. Okay, they've started a Hurricanes chant, which is nice, but they are currently going to need a lot of tries to get back into this contest. Thank God he made that kick, says John. And 17-0 away from home, Chahu. Yeah, it's a thoroughly impressive performance from this Chiefs side. But once again, don't get me wrong, they've had some good attacking moments, but I think it's the defence that they've been able to shut down any Hurricanes attack in front of them that has been the more impressive part of this contest. Now rolling this one back, Cortez Ratama. His kick is charged down. That one's going to go into touch now. Just said there, a decent recovery as well from them to be able to scramble when they were inside of their own area. Not going to be a very easy one for the Canes to come back into it. Riley Higgins. What can he do in this midfield alongside Balin Sullivan? 17-0 away from home, and the defence is very impressive. Yeah, if they defend like this throughout the season, they will be a very tough one to beat. Going off to the right-hand side now. Geordie Phil Ewan. Got 22 minutes left now in this contest. Oh, big clean out from Porirua Stones in the breakdown, playing the ball on the ground. That was a bit cheeky from Luke Jacobson, so that is going to make it a penalty now. You can't really afford to do that if you're Luke Jacobson, one of the more experienced veterans of the team, and just decides not to behave himself, but they will kick this one for the corner now. The Hurricanes, this is their big opportunity to get something really going. He's always doing dumb stuff. Yeah, and eventually you'd think that he would learn not to do it, but he still does it. Yellow, honestly, it probably isn't a bad shout that it could have been close to a yellow. Definitely a last warning for Luke Jacobson if he's going to continue doing anything along those lines. But now line out throw here for the Hurricanes. Sitting 59 minutes into this contest, their best attacking chance to score in quite some time as they look to get this rolling maul going. Currently losing a few metres here, the big forwards of the Chiefs defending well. Geordie Phil-Ewan going off to the left-hand side. Timberwolves just started, and I thought our Canes flankers were pretty stacked, but the Chiefs trio been very impressive, says Tanaka. And also, we've got to remember, though, the Hurricanes are missing Duplessis Karefi, Peter Larkai, just to name a couple, which really can make a difference. Brad Shields. So, in terms of the head-to-head, I would say that the Chiefs going into this one probably had the more stacked loose forwards, but for the regular season, I think that there's going to be some really good stuff coming from that Canes trio. Oh, bit of a loose ball. Picked up now by the Chiefs. Breaking the line now. It's a great chance for the Chiefs to get an attack going. Cortez Ratama showing his pace. He's got Liam Coombs-Babling on his outside. Ball back on the inside to Cortez Ratama. Can't quite get the offload away. Gets back up to his feet. Wasn't held. Scores the try. And he'll get his second one. Summer Penny Finau being an annoyance to Brett Cameron there too. But that is another try now for this Chiefs side. I'm not sure why Summer Penny Finau decided he wanted to try and pick on the 10 of the opposition. I feel like surely he could have gone for someone slightly bigger. And what a try says Misfit. Forward back to Ratama. The last one to Ratama was forward. It did look very flat, that is for sure. We don't get a huge amount of replays in this one. Preseason doesn't matter, says Kahu. And Chiefs on fire, says Jasmine there too. Can you do a Chiefs career mode on Rugby 25 or nah? I'd like to, but Rugby 25 is still very broken. That game does not work smoothly, and you also can't really customize a huge amount at the moment. I know that I did a Hurricanes career mode, didn't I? And me and George did a Crusaders career mode to a certain extent, only about 8 metres forward. Yeah. Oh, they've just said less TMO, even better on the commentary, so they're obviously happy it wasn't checked. That one's going to be going over from Josh Jacob and makes the score now 24-0 in favour of the Chiefs. So we got a replay of that pass to Cortez Ratama. I was wondering whether or not for a start it was just because of the angle, but maybe that was also still making it look forward. Looks like Josh Jacob now going to make his way off the field, but 24-0 for the Chiefs at the moment over the Hurricanes here in Porirua. Not quite what they would have been after in this contest. The Canes forward from the winger. Ref, you're fired, says Shane. Moving forward, Jacobson with the carry, just outside of his own 22 at the moment. I know that the 50-22 rule has been brought in, that you can take it back into your half. In fact, there's going to be a penalty, I think. Oh no, sorry, this is a free kick. The referee called use it, and they did not use it. So because of that, the Hurricanes get the quick tap. That is one of the new laws that are coming in for Super Rugby 2026. Trying to keep that play moving a lot quicker. So if you get told to use it, you better. That was an ugly clean out there from the Canes, dropping a Chiefs player on his head, and he is going to the bin now for a tip tackle in the breakdown. So that is how you completely ruin your attacking opportunity if you're the Hurricanes. We're going to see the replay now. Just really stupid from, luckily for him, I don't know who it was. It was the number 27 in this case for the Canes. Oh, yellow cards are 5 minutes apparently. Who would that be? I'm going to have a quick look at the team sheets. Find out who it was. 24, 25, 26, 27. It might have been Tane Rory. Never even heard of him. But if he keeps doing things like that, he's probably not getting a lot of game minutes How do we put 40 plus on the boys? On the Blues, sorry. Scoreless in the 60th minute against the Chiefs. Yeah. It's definitely interesting, isn't it? How it goes from 1 week being relatively dominant in that game to now it just doesn't seem like it's quite going right for this Canes side, getting smoked. Please more reffing like that, straight to the card. No need for TMO to waste time, says Studs Race. And Hurricanes get the dumbest card, says John. Now moving forward. Chiefs in possession again, 22 metres out from the line. I might get another one here. They've got a lot of forward momentum at the moment for the Chiefs, and their passing has been precise. Summer Penifine now, drop ball on the outside from Naitoa Koi, and picked up now by the Canes. That looked a bit like Philemoni. Is he at the Hurricanes this year? Was that Philemoni? Yeah, it was. Taniela Philemoni is in the team sheet. Did he transfer from the Highlanders? Who did the Highlanders bring in to replace him, I wonder? They probably would have liked to have someone like Taniela Philemoni again. Hard out, says John. I thought this game would be more competitive. I also thought it would be. He was always at the Canes, no? Was he not at the Highlanders last year? He managed to score a try on debut, didn't he? For the Landers. I think Stanley Solomon's the guy they brought in, says Tanaka there. Who's your least favourite referee in Super Rugby? Mine are Paul Williams. If you were playing against the Chiefs, he literally trained with them. I also hate Damon Murphy. He's just bad, says Jordan. I don't really like to pick a least favourite ref because it's a hard enough job as it is being a referee. Tyrone Thompson throws that ball in. Plus, without the refs, like as much as people go, oh, just don't have referees, make them into AI things, but like you do need a referee out there. He was injury cover for the Highlanders. Did play for us for a bit, says Jordan. Oh, okay, so he just came in as injury cover. Now off to the left-hand side. It kind of looked like Georgie Nasova as well. Was that Georgie Nasova? Oh no, I might have been getting him confused with Hone Rover. I was about to say, who else have the Hurricanes brought in for this season? Same as when the ref was in the ABs. Right, someone has got back up to their feet, which is good news. 66 minutes through this contest. I think I should take back what I said about Jay Gibbs. I didn't rate him too highly, coach of the Chiefs, but he has proven me wrong thus far. The Hurricanes stole Josh Timu as well. Did they? See, that seems like surely the Highlanders had a plan though of someone, like of course they got Stanley Solomon. Do they have another guy that they've brought in too? Lost it for you. The knock on there from the Hurricanes, just 5 metres out from the Chiefs line again. It's that defence that has helped them out. The line-out was not successful from the Chiefs, overthrown and well taken by the Hurricanes. Then just couldn't finish it off. Xavier Tito Harris, he'll be a good signing. Now 14 on the clock. The Chiefs would love nothing more than to keep this one scoreless. I hope our line-out is better this year, says John. Just talking about that game next week. Eden Park, Blues versus Chiefs. That is an absolutely huge game. The early stages of the Super Rugby season. We will, of course, be live for that contest as well as many more on the channels, ladies and gents. 1 second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. Now Cortez has scored himself a try in the very early stages. Looking forward to seeing Super actually kick off properly. Says Kahu there. And the Highlanders got Tito Harris, but Manson going to sevens made me very annoyed. Oh, Cortez, Ratama breaking the line, pure pace. Yeah, Michael Manson's looking good in the 7 setup at the moment. We'll be playing in a game later on that we are covering on the channel. Now passed on the outside. Liam Coombs bambling. It's almost a full field try there from the Chiefs, going from one end to the other. And it's another try for the away team. Length to length for that try. Cortez Ratama was involved in that one. He's had a real impact since making his way off of the bench. Hurricanes getting smacked. Says John there, are you covering Scotland game? We are indeed, yes, alongside that England versus Wales game. I just haven't scheduled it yet because of how many live streams we've got scheduled on the channel already. I kind of wanted to wait for a few of them to finish before scheduling more, just so that you guys don't have like 20 live streams all there. Last pass was Bullet, says Thuds Rays, or at least Bullseye, I assume that is. And Scotland already played nose, so they played in the under-20s. They managed to get a good win over the Italians. They actually came in as slight underdogs in that game. Now lining up this kick close to the sideline. This is away to the side, so that will keep the score sitting at 29-0 with 12 minutes remaining. I literally watched sevens for the first time in forever versus Fiji, and the stupid coach didn't even play Manson. Says Jordan, and Kelly Lasanga should start as well. He's looking real good at the moment in the sevens too. His pace from Lasanga is absolutely game-changing. They've actually got quite a few young guys coming up through the rankings in that New Zealand sevens side, but the problem is all of the guys who do well in sevens then get signed to Super Rugby teams. You look at Leroy Carter, Fihi Finiar-Nofo, Caleb Tangi-Tau. As soon as they find that next great young winger or great young back for the sevens, he's gone within a season. When it looks bad and it gets worse and worse. Says John, one moment, I'm about to sneeze again. We are back. And now the scrum on the halfway line after a mistake was made off of kickoff. Hurricanes, bro, says John. Towards 13-15. Says John. It will be the scrum feed now for the Chiefs. It was a bit of a deceptive angle. They actually showed the camera from the far side, so I had the Chiefs looking like they were going the other way in this match, but of course not quite the case. They've been going from right to left and having a real field day. We've got to remember the score at halftime was 5-0 in favour of the Chiefs. Now, off the back of the scrum, Ratama with the wide cutout pass. Now, Daniel Sinkinson, he has made his way onto the field. One of the many changes have been made. Playing up against his former side, Hurricanes, says Jordan there. And imagine if Wales beat England tomorrow. To be fair, their under-20s almost did. That was a lot closer in that game than it was supposed to be. Now Ratama. Back across to the right-hand side again. I think if the Chiefs score again, I might go to the supermarket because they will win. I want to get back before the 7th starts, says Jasmine. Yeah, I think they're already probably confirmed as winners here. If you wanted to try and get into the supermarket nice and early, just in case it does take you a little bit longer now, looking for the pass here. The Chiefs are inside of the 22. You may actually not have to wait too long for them to score again. They are currently 10 metres out from the Hurricanes line. Back across to the left-hand side. Another step coming in. Offload attempted. That was a bit of a poor one from the Chiefs. Cross kick attempted by the Canes. And they'll go back now for the scrum. Game's already over, mate. I imagine that would make my weekend, says Misfit. Hurricanes have the first bye next week. They certainly do. They are the one side from Super Rugby who do not play in next week's game. The Hurricane supporters, they are looking on in disappointment. At the moment, pretty rough to score nothing in a preseason game, says Cut. Yeah. But honestly, like the way that the Chiefs have defended, it hasn't looked like preseason. Like they have been very, very handy defensively in this match. But, yeah, it's still not ideal. Please one try, says Tanaka. And also, I hope that Ratama is nowhere near the All Blacks under the new coach. He's had his chance and never performs for the All Blacks, says Jordan. Although he's still very young in his career. Imagine all the players throughout the years that if we had sacked them when they had only had a very low number of caps, the amount of guys that wouldn't have found their peak. You know, you look through, honestly, there are so many examples of guys who didn't hit their stride the first year of playing for the All Blacks, but then from there, they then just get better and better. Some guys have to wait till they're 30 before they reach their peak. Jordan, over this performance, he has potential to rival Roygaard, says Tanaka. Jordan, please, he's brilliant. Thank goodness you're not coaching. I've now caught up. I was probably 20 to 30 minutes behind, says Danny. You were probably very confused about what I was talking about half the time then in terms of the score and whatnot. Now, moving up to 73 minutes through this contest. He's not brilliant. He's done nothing at international level, says Jordan. But it just takes time. You know, you can't sack a young player just because he's been a bit rough in a few games. Because or else then you run out of players. So slow at rucks, which allows rush defence to get set, says Jordan. And once again, just give him time. He will learn. Like at the end of the day, Rome wasn't built in a day. Ratama wasn't built in a year. Now cross kick here, and it has gone into touch. Got 10 metres out for the line here for the Chiefs. Brilliant as a stretch, but he doesn't suck, says John. Now Philemoni unable to quite get across and grab that ball. Now the Chiefs 7 minutes remaining. However, Jordan, as Hamish says, it takes time. Says Misfit. They've just said something about 1996. Wonder what that was. It sounds like there's a record of some sort maybe being set. Oh, nice run forward there from the Hurricanes managing to steal the line out. Was it double movement? No, it wasn't. And it looks like... Oh, no, it is double movement against... That's a Bassam brother. I don't know if it's Mosisi or whether it's Vernon. But either way, he's grabbed that ball. He's been tackled and then has propelled himself forward. So it is no try. And the penalty goes the way of the Chiefs. That pretty much just summarises their day at the moment. Yes, this is pre-season, but it's a statement game, says John. Now line out here for the Chiefs. Yeah, it just summarises the day right there. 8 to go, but kicked away. WF is your plan. And Whakatava, Hotham, Lennox, Preston are even better. Or even Christie is better, says Jordan. At international level... Because, you haven't really seen a few of those guys at international level get a huge amount of chances. Oh, why are these Bassam brothers so hyped up? Says Jordan. Oh, they're apparently pretty handy. I think it's from their under-20s, what we got to see from, I think it was Vernon who we saw the most of. And the under-20 setup there, it's going to be another ball stolen by the Chiefs. Now popping this ball up, and it's a big driving tackle from Porirua Stones. Do you have the Highlanders a chance to get to say this next week? If they haven't got Fabian Holland, I think it's going to be very tricky for them. As he was the key at the line-out for them all throughout last season. Teitaro Tahudiarangi has made his way on. Otham is injured at the moment anyway. So here's Misfit. Koi was asking for some sort of penalty. Wasn't given it by the referee. Currently 75 minutes. This game's going very quickly for the second half anyway. They need to bring Ting Blad in, says Jordan. Now, kicking this one downfield. Waiting for it to come down. Well handled by Riley Higgins. Hasn't had too many carries throughout this second half. All thought about going for the carry there, Bassam, but does leave it alone. Now back across to the left-hand side. And Geordie Filion once again gets to the ruck. Oh, drop ball there. It was a rough pass. It was too low for Basilio Tossi to be able to bring it in. The Crusaders will take the Landers next week easy, says Misfits. And I'm sure if they bring Roygaard on, he will score in 30 seconds, although he is not playing in this game, Cam Roygaard. But 77 minutes gone now. Now, I will mention for anyone wondering what else we've got on the channel, we've got plenty coming up in the near future. We've got the Sevens at 3:30 New Zealand time, so that has taken place in about an hour's time. The first match is the Fijiana side versus USA in the women's sevens. Then from there, New Zealand versus Japan for the women's game. And then the 3 matches of the men's, including New Zealand versus Australia, I believe. One of those early games. He conceded scrum penalties in the NPC. Who didn't concede any scrum penalties at all throughout the NPC, though? Give me that name. We've had more drop balls than entries into the 22. Oh, you lucky boy, Tossi, says Jordan. But now 3 minutes on the clock. Still time for the Chiefs to theoretically be able to get themselves one more. Still time for the Hurricanes to get one more. I mean, he got hammered for an All Blacks prop. Oh, okay. But now scrum feed for Teitaroa Tahudiarangi. That ball goes in. Triple T goes short side now. He was in front of the kicker there, Liam. Coons Fabling chasing after a mark is called by the Canes. They have scored 0 points in 78 minutes in this contest. Now Brett Cameron does go into touch. It was a decent clearing kick too from the Hurricanes, but unfortunately they do not get that line out. Hurry up, Hurricanes. I think Tanaka probably wants to burn his video, or burn this video out of his brain and need one try, says Jordan. Yeah, although they haven't got possession with 100 seconds remaining, so the chance of getting it might be pretty slim here if the Chiefs do just control the ball and allow their opposition back in. Nicely taken by Naitoa Koi. Now off to the left-hand side, big collision on the halfway line. This has been an awful 80 minutes, says Tanaka. Yeah, it's certainly 80 minutes that the Hurricanes will want to soon forget, and they have to let it go completely out of their brain before the start of Super Rugby. The benefit that they've got is they've got the bye next week, so they have a little bit longer to try and work it all out. Literally, worst start to a long weekend, says Tanaka. Well, hopefully you are a fan of sevens, because there's plenty that is going up in the very near future. Now, Geordie Filion, pick and go. That looks like an injury on the far side of the field for one of the Chiefs players. Can't quite recognise him from the number yet. Another loose ball, but the penalty will go the way of the Hurricanes. Cheers, Hamish. See you later. Cheers, Studs Racer. Yeah, we will see you probably in about an hour or so, or maybe a bit later, depending on when you're picking up the sevens. Now, Geordie Filion. Chance to kick this one into touch again. Now about 10 metres out from the line. 30 seconds left. Can the Hurricanes break the drought and give their crowd something to cheer about? Because they have watched 79 minutes of infuriating rugby. So maybe, just maybe, they can get something going right at the end here. Right, Basin to throw it in. What time is the AB Sevens match, says Jordan. The first match for the AB Sevens. Oh, they're going to run it off the back for Basin there. The first game for New Zealand is at 6:04 p.m. and that is up against the Australians for the men. If you're looking at the Blackfern Sevens match, it's at 3:52. So a bit earlier for the woman. Now, drop ball from Tavita Mafaleo, but the ball did travel backwards, so it's still there for the Canes. Bassin now drops his head, hit hard by Naito Akoi, trying to get the steal and the breakdown. He's just lying all over it. Luke Jacobson gives away such an obvious penalty and should have probably been a yellow card for a man who's been pretty ill-disciplined throughout this pre-season fixture. Now back across to the left. Brett Cameron drop ball from the Hurricanes. Now in the hands of Summer Penifee now. They think about kicking it out, but it looks like they're going to try and run this one down the short side. Big collision, and it's gone into touch. That will be the end of the game. 29-0 in favour of the Chiefs. That is a statement victory if it is for just the preseason, but we have to wait till these two sides play off. I believe it's in about the 4th month of the year, about April. They do play each other. Can't stop thinking about their yellow card in this match. Give me Josh Taylor on Ruben Love vibes, says Jordan. And we have got there Tanaka. A good game, lads. See you around in round 8. And 80 minutes, 0 points, says Tanaka there. Yeah, I mean, if the Hurricanes are playing their cards close to their chest and they're keeping what's going to happen throughout the Super Rugby season very secret, they've probably just done that very well, because I don't know what to expect now from this Hurricane side throughout the season. Wallace Satiti, I don't even remember saying that man's name once other than in the build-ups to this matchup. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. 29-0 at full time in this preseason game. We will be back next week with the round 1 of Super Rugby as well as the sevens coming up in 55 minutes time. Thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.